The Two Giants. One day, Jennifer and Johnny were up on the hill by the village with Grandfather Yellow Hat. They came to some big stones. "Grandfather," said Jennifer, "how did the big stones get here on top of the hill?"
"That is an old story,
Jennifer, said Grandfather Yellow Hat. "Tell us," said Johnny and Jennifer. "Long ago, there was only one stone on the top of the hill. A giant lived on the hill then. He was a very big giant, and he would not let anyone from the village come up the hill. A boy lived in the village then. He was called Tom, and he had a donkey. Giants like to eat donkeys for supper, so Tom kept his donkey on a rope under a tree by his house in the village. One day, the donkey slipped the rope over his head and ran away. As soon as he saw that his donkey had run away, Tom went to look for him. He looked in the village and he looked by the river, but the donkey was not there. So Tom climbed up the hill. He had not climbed very far when he saw the giant. The giant was holding the donkey's rope. He was taking the donkey away with him up the hill. Tom ran up the hill after the giant. "Give me back my donkey," he cried. The giant laughed.
"Ho, ho, ho, ho! So this is your donkey, is it?" he said. "Well, he came up my hill, and I'm going to eat him for supper."
Tom looked at the giant. He was very big. "Is that all you have for supper?" he said. "You only eat one little donkey? You cannot be a very strong giant. Strong giants eat 3 donkeys for supper."
The giant was very angry. "I am strong," he cried. "I am very strong. I will eat the donkey for my supper, and I will eat you too."
Tom looked at the stone. "A strong giant could throw that stone from here into the river," he said.
"Then I will throw it into the river," said the giant.
He picked up the big stone and threw it down the hill. It fell in the middle of Deep River. Sploosh! Now that day, another giant had come to the village. Tom had seen him by the river when he was looking for his donkey. This giant was asleep on the riverbank when the stone fell in the river. There was a big splash. The giant woke and jumped to his feet. He looked up and saw the other giant on the hill. "So you are throwing stones at me," he cried. "I can throw stones too." He picked up a stone and threw it up the hill. It fell on the top. This made the giant on top of the hill very angry, and he picked up the stone and threw it back. But the giant by the river threw another stone and another. There were many stones in Deep River, and he could throw them faster than the giant on the hill. Soon, the 2 giants were throwing stones up the hill and down into the river as fast as they could. Tom slipped over to his donkey. The giant did not see him. Tom jumped onto the donkey's back and rode down to the village as fast as he could ride. The giants threw stones all day long, and when the sun went down, there were big stones all over the hill. But the giant on the hill had thrown so many stones that they made an island in Deep River. If you go down the hill and along the river, you can still see the giant's island.